All right, Luca Nation. Hopefully, 25-minute episode here. I have a few topics to discuss with you guys. I know Cage does as
Translation.
well. So welcome back.
Don't do too many tangents. I actually want to leave. Calm yourself down. Don't talk too much. I want this to be 25 minutes. So I'm just going to interrupt the intro again, as I always do. And people write me and they laugh. It's like become part of it.
This is priority. Like if this runs over and it's a great episode, I'm not going to leave midway through.
Listen,
I love our community.
Right,
I love our
Monday.
fans.
Normally, I don't like Monday, but how can you not? We got the football game tonight, right? We got what could be the real Super Bowl of the year. We got the Patriots against the Bills tonight. My fantasy team shit the bed. I'm down 15 points, but I have Matt Breida, so he could score 15. But the problem is the guy I'm playing against would need Josh Allen to not play for me to have a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those. It was one of those weeks. So, yeah, no, not so good. But I still think my team will make the playoffs in our league. We set it up in such a way where I think 6 out of 12 teams make the league, make the playoffs. So, you really just got to be in the top half, which I think I'll do.
Tell them about the belt. So, guys, we have 3 leagues, 36 teams. And obviously, you're going to get a prize, a hobby box for winning the league. But we wanted to do one overall prize. So Cage took some initiative here.
Yeah, man. So we couldn't. What's difficult about it is because of the playoffs the way it is, and because we have to have 12 teams. We have 36 total teams, but we couldn't have a 36-person draft. That's just not the way it works. First
There's not enough guys.
36 is going to be pretty terrible, right? It's not exactly fast. So we brought up to 3 leagues, and even then, it's hard to come up with like an overall champ. So what we did was each league will have its champ, but at the end of the regular season, which ends next week for us, at the end of week 15, we end of week 14. 15, I think, is the playoffs start. The team that scored the most points in the regular season out of all 36 teams, I got a belt. It's one of these like trophy smack belts. It's huge. It's like it's very heavy. It's like
it's what the UFC. It's what the UFC gets basically.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a UFC belt, but it has our logo. Right there. If you watch on YouTube, that logo is right there, front and center, and it says "Fantasy Football," points champion 2021 LTV. It's got the Tiger NFT on one of the little panels of the belt. It's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty cool thing, and it just arrived today. Talk about like supply chain delays. Woof.
And it's going to be anyone who has Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be basically Jonathan Taylor.
I didn't win.
But you're the points leader, right?
No, I'm 100 points off. The guy who has the points lead in our league has a very good team. A very good team. Well drafted. Dak Prescott is the QB. So didn't waste an early pick on Dak.
Card Fuchsius is ours. He has Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Gronkowski, Josh Jacobs, Harrison Butker, and he has the Patriots defense. How many points? 1,644.
Yeah, that's about where I think 1,637. So we'll find out tomorrow after tonight's games. We'll do a little leaderboard and we'll see who's in the running for it. And we'll all kind of Luca Nation can pay attention next week. Maybe we can post the rosters maybe during the weekend and see who's going to get that belt. Card Fuchsius is in the running. Team Milky something or other on ours. I don't know what the hell the real name is. Milky something is in the lead in ours. So, but
guys, so you this is like this doesn't concern us, but I'm curious if you guys out there can help me because this kind of stuff rubs me the wrong way, and it just I don't think this is really accurate of what the hobby is, but sometimes you do see this. Like, did you see the post going around from like the troll account against Jeff, Sports Card Investor? So Jeff invested in
and how much he paid. That one, yeah, I think I saw.
Yeah, and he bought like LeBron Topps Chrome refractors, like from like 2003 to 2010. And just a basic investment. Like it's a good investment. We all talk about Topps Chrome, LeBron, GOAT, and in that short period of time, the investments have fallen. And this troll account like rubs it in his face, acting like this guy should. Why would you ever listen to this guy? Look at him; he's such an idiot. But like I think one, I'm curious: has he ever sold picks? Right? Like that. I don't know. So you guys out there have been part of the hobby, But two, like I don't know. That seems hurtful. So you guys tell me if you saw that.
Even if he does sell picks, even if he makes money giving people like, here's my top 5 cards or here's my investments, no one's right all the time. No one's right all the time. I mean, and he might have lost
No one's
money on
forcing
that,
you guys to buy the picks either.
the 4 of them before and the 4 of them after, he probably made money on. I mean, that's the way it works. We all have stuff that loses. We can't be 1,000% all the time. I mean, I try to be, but even I, I mean, I'm a huge Michael Porter Jr. fan. You guys know this. I mean, I love Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr.
It's not the point. That's not the point. First off, I want to caveat this. I've never met the guy. Like I've seen him on a show.
Nice to me. I met him in the
Cool.
street.
I've never met the guy.
Nice guy.
So I have no horse in the race. This doesn't concern me. But still, like I don't know why we go after people like that. Like honestly, who cares?
So what you're saying is Andrew Be Positive is back. Optimistic Andrew says, hey, the hobby has enough crap. Be happy for people. Could it possibly be that has a modicum of success? And that, when there is success, there will always be, we talked about this, right? As soon as there was an artist born, immediately thereafter is born the critic. Was I'm just using history of the world. I mean, Mel Gibson, Mel Brooks. Wow, that was a horrible mistake. Mel Brooks did not, do history of the world. That it's.
You had me. I was like Mel Gibson and Braveheart. He said
Brooks.
that.
No, not
okay.
He did this in history of the world. It's like as soon as an artist, because it's like a caveman drawn on the wall, and then a critic comes and pisses all over the artwork. But there wasn't Sports Card Investor at the time for Mel Brooks to use that. But you understand the point. You say it all the time. Gary Vee has trolls. Gary Vee has people who come after him no matter what he does. And when you have success, you're not going to be able to please everybody in the world. And the fact that there's a troll account just dedicated to him. You know what I mean? I think the account is like Sports Card Investor Fraud or something like that. I think that's what it was. _
fraud. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, guys. You guys tell me if I'm wrong, right? You guys probably know his content.
Can I spend some time on it in the optimism and the positivity on this? So, but not just this year, but let me tell you guys something. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be right when you could have been more right. And there's my little hobby lesson of the day, right? Try not to beat yourselves up. Don't beat up other people who are trying to do their own thing too, a la Jeff, the Sports Card Investor, unless he's wronged you personally in some way, right?
Correct.
Which, I mean, he very well may have. But more importantly, give yourself a little slack, right? Not everything's going to be a winner. And even when it's a winner, there are those of us out there, myself included, who spend precious time and precious brain matter thinking of how I could have even won more on my wins. Wow, if I would have, I sold my LeBrons too early. If I would have held it, I would have made this much and this much and that. I think we all do it, and I think it's. I mean, listen, I'm not the one to tell you about what's unhealthy. You guys know my diet, and I'm sitting here with a 2-liter bottle of soda as we talk, right? So obviously, healthy is not my forte, but maybe as like an early New Year's resolution for next year, right? It's a hobby. Or you'll call it the industry, we call it, the business, whatever that we're going to call it this year. But we're having fun. And you know what? If you have a loss, you'll probably have a win the week after or 2 weeks later that'll make up for the loss. And if you have a win, like, Andrew and I, we talk about this because we're kind of covering the same cloth, right?
All the time, man.
And
all the time.
We have a lot of people listening. Yeah, 2,000 people listened to an episode last week in the first day. We're like, hello. And you should hear from us. If you think like this, you're not alone, right? We do too. I'm sure almost all of us do. And maybe it's a cool thing for you to hear. Like, it's not good, man. I mean, I wish I could be better at it myself. It's just, hey, look, a little pat on the back.
You know what it is, Kitch?
Yeah.
It's. I think this is my theory. We've in the last 20 years, man, life has changed so much that we're like constantly bombarded by things that we can do on our phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we can spend exorbitant amounts of money using our phones by laying on it. And that is like, I have to remind myself, like, I got to get away from this. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we invest in a card and it hasn't gone up in 2 days, but in our head, it doesn't feel like 2 days. You know what I mean?
I get it, man. I get it. And you've told me about this all the time. You tell me, look, I'm on the phone all the time. I'm on Instagram all the time. There's been advancements in technology, and what you always tell me is in the last 5 to 10 years, the advancements in yoga pants and what those videos you watch late at night with. I mean, that it's you're right. It's hard to unplug from that, and we should unplug.
I didn't expect that. I don't understand where you come up with this stuff. What? You just hit me like a right hook.
What?
I didn't see it. So, dude, you consider? Can I ask you something? Do you consider Logan Paul and Jake Paul athletes?
I do.
Okay. So Tommy Fury can't fight, and now Jake Paul is fighting Tyron Woodley
again
for the third time. Yep.
Yeah.
As of this morning.
So Woodley's going in with a different strategy this time. He's going to actually throw 2 punches.
He's going to grapple.
Round. He's going to throw 2 punches in the first round instead of 1. I do consider them athletes. Maybe not at the beginning of this, but anybody who could box. I mean, you're boxing now. There's cardio you need to box that it's out of this world. The cardio condition you have to be in to box. We talk about this, man. It's basically like do a round, get on the treadmill. Do a round, get on the treadmill. Spar around, get on the treadmill. You have to be able to go. Like I'd be gassed halfway through the first round. So I consider them athletes just because you really do have to train to go the distance in a boxing match. Now, boxers might give them a little bit of a because they haven't really boxed a boxer yet. They're boxing other YouTubers. Do
you think this was like scripted type of thing, or do you think this was just
Woodley is not a boxer.
No, but he was gonna fight Tommy Fury.
I don't know Tommy is Tyson Fury. No, he wasn't gonna fight Tyson Fury. He's a real boxer. I don't know Tommy Fury.
No, but Tommy Fury, he's a boxer from the UK.
Yeah, I mean, look, Conor at least fought some boxers, right? They carried him, But yeah, I mean, I think he can fight boxers. I think he's now become a boxer. In the beginning, I think it was more kind of like antics and, for show. Do I think it's scripted? No. Do I think Floyd Mayweather carried Conor McGregor? Yes. Do I think the real boxers have the ability to let somebody stay with you and not put him away? Yes.
Did Floyd Mayweather carry Logan Paul? Or did he carry Conor McGregor too?
Yeah.
Do you think he could have knocked him out?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think he made Conor look good for the possibility of rematches and that kind of stuff. There's always more money at the end of the day,
And boxing, unlike mixed martial arts, like you can kind of do that, right? Like you could pull your punches, you could decide where you hit people.
A lot of hugging.
A lot of like showmanship. Where like MMA, like that's just brute force. And I'm so excited for the Oliveira Poirier fight this weekend.
It'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, man. So anyway, that's it, guys. I mean, like we can get into the cards. We can get into any kind of news you have. We can talk about football. We can talk about basketball. Talk about whatever it is you want to chat about. But we talk about this, and sometimes the best conversations we have also makes really good content for people out there. Because if we're thinking about it, we're beating ourselves up about it. Chances are the people listening to us are also beating themselves up about it. So know you guys, when you think like shit, I had a loss, I'll beat myself up, or hey, this win, I really took my profit too soon, or whatever it is. Go a little easier on yourselves. We do the same shit, and it unfortunately it takes a little bit of the joy away from what we're doing. You know what I mean? And that's part of probably the biggest problem. You're trying to have some fun with this. And yeah, that's it. That's my little.
Would you prefer we go NFL week recap, or do you want to talk NBA? Or
whatever you like. My play is NBA, but he's not in the NBA anymore, so we can go NBA, and I can give an NBA play.
Let me ask
NFL. The NFL parity. All you got to know about the NFL season is the Dolphins started off 1-and whatever, and they've won 5 games, 7 games, however many games they've won in a row. The Redskins lost 4 games in a row, and then they won 4 games in a row.
Interesting division, just like that AFC East too. If you think about it, Buffalo took off, won most of their first games. Miami and the Patriots started out terrible. Now they're shrieking. Very interesting AFC East.
Yeah, and now the safest bet in the NFL is Kansas City's under. Who would have thought that in week 3 or 4 of the season?
Did you watch the game?
I watched every play. Because I was praying that Travis Kelce would catch a ball and give me some points.
Mahomes still not there? What's going on?
A lot of tip balls. I mean, you could say his receivers are not getting the hands on it, but no, he doesn't look right. He doesn't look right. I don't know what it is. He doesn't look right. He's not, he's not making the throws. He's not putting them on his receivers. The offensive line doesn't look as good as it has in the past. He looks a little rushed.
Something that's going to take an off-season to fix more than likely.
Maybe. I mean, look, Tyreek Hill.
Well, if it couldn't get fixed over a bye week.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it gets fixed unless there's talent. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so off-season. Like, if you bring in another offensive lineman or a third wide receiver, people who thought Mecole Hardman was going to turn into the next Tyreek Hill, that's not happening. You know, Pringle, whatever his name is, whatever sour cream and onion Pringles, he's not going to be a great receiver. You know, Kelsey has had some games this year where he has really just disappeared, including last night. And Tyreek Hill didn't have a huge game, and a couple of times balls bounced right off him. One of them leading to a tip interception. That said, it's funny we're talking about how bad they were. They covered, I think, right?
Yep,
21-19 against the Broncos, who I thought would win the game. Huh?
21-9.
Yeah, I mean, they covered. So, ugly game. Still, AFC West, as currently situated, no team under 500, which is pretty nuts.
Herbert came back. So the Bengals blew out the Steelers. Steelers beat the Ravens. Chargers blew out the Bengals.
Game?
Which one?
The Bengals-Chargers game.
Parts of it. I watched Red Zone.
Look at the final score, you would think, wow, the Chargers blew them out, and the Chargers had it from beginning to end.
Bengals had a chance.
Couple things. One, Burrow dislocated his pinky in the first series and played the rest of the time.
On his throwing hand.
Yeah,
on his throwing hand.
And just, they were up 24-0, and the Bengals came back and scored 22 straight points and missed the 2-point conversion for the tie. Then they had the ball at around midfield, about the 45 of their own territory, third quarter, I believe. And Mixon took a handoff, and just the ball bounced off his arm. I don't know if it's because of it looked like the handoff was fine. I don't want to blame Burrow's finger for the handoff, but the ball basically just fell on the floor, and San Diego picked it up and ran it back for a 45-yard fumble recovery. So now you have a situation where the Bengals are down 2, going, moving, driving, like moving the ball, and all of a sudden now they're down 10, and it's just you could tell, like they used all their energy to get back into it from down 24-0. They got the ball. They only needed like 2 completions to get into field goal range and probably take the lead, and instead, boom, they're back down by double digits again.
Momentum.
I mean, it was just that was the end. Like you could tell the Bengals just gave in there. They had given it all they had. I would not necessarily say that Herbert had a fantastic game. I will say he's got an arm that a lot of people don't have. There was one play during the game. I forget.
He scrambled right and he threw against his body.
It might have been right where he's scrambling right, he throws against. But even he underthrew the ball by like 5 yards. So the receiver had to come back for it. Actually got a pass interference call. As the receivers come back, because he ran into the defender coming back for the ball. But that throw 50, 60 yards in the air, not a lot of quarterbacks have the arm strength to do that.
Dante Culpepper could.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he looked good. Let's give him his credit. That team, they won when they needed to win, because if the Chiefs are going to keep winning, the Chiefs took over first place. And right now, going into tonight, you know who the number 1 seed in the AFC is?
Patriots.
Big game tonight. Only one team gets by.
I famously have the Bills, so you guys should take the Patriots for all of your marbles.
You were okay this week, man. Your bananas play has come in 2 weeks in a row, and my lock finally lost for the first time in like 9 weeks. What a horrible way to lose a lock. I said the Patriots, the Bucks, Falcons would have 37 points at halftime, and you'd only need a touchdown in the third, and a touchdown in the fourth to get you 50. That was 37 at halftime. It was 2017 too. It wasn't like one of those like the Cowboys are up by 40, so they're not going to score anymore. Right. It was 2017. It was 37 points, and they scored 10 more points for the whole rest of the game, and the over didn't come in.
Cage said this exact thing. He's like, this is going to be a type of game where it's probably 37 at halftime, and then you're sitting there in the third quarter needing a touchdown in the third, a touchdown in the fourth.
Yeah.
It was literally 37 at the half.
That.
They scored a touchdown in the third, and then they kicked the field goal in the fourth.
Yeah, I was like, what is this shit?
They're messing with us.
Garbage way to lose my lock.
So what's your play?
My play is a it's one you may go in and scoop up now. I got to give credit to DPZ, Dennis Patrick Zender, one of our listeners who brought this card to my attention. It is not a cheap card, guys, although there are a couple of them up on eBay where if you want to, you can make offers and maybe get it cheap. It's odd because there are different variants of it, but I want you to look up the 1998 Topps certified autographed Kobe Bryant. It is Kobe's first pack pulled auto.
I know this card.
Okay? He has a Bowman pack pulled auto that year too, but the Topps is actually his first. But what's funny is you say I know this card. What a lot of people don't realize is there's two of them. There's AG2 and AG9. And he's wearing different jerseys, and he's got a different pose in them. Okay? The AG9 seems to be a rarer one. It has a purple jersey on. It's kind of a cooler card.
AG2 or AG9?
Yeah. So 1998 Topps certified auto Kobe Bryant. You take a look at it. There's AG2, which is the regular one where he's got his regular jersey on. And then there's, if you just scroll, you'll see one that looks different. If you're on eBay, he's got a purple jersey on.
Oh, okay.
So that's AG9. That seems to be a little rarer. There are two PSA 10s of the AG2 and no PSA 10s of the AG9. See, that's the 9. And it also has a cooler auto on it, much
Grant
nicer
Hill.
10. So,
Grant Hill.
Yeah, Grant Hill in the picture too. The other one is, I mean, listen, there's very few graded versions of this, and even on eBay, there's not that many of these out there. You can make an offer on this one. The AG2, they're on eBay right now for less than $2,000 plus best, make an offer, right? So there's one for like $1,900 or best offer. If you get it for $1,000, which by the way, the Kobe autos, the worst ones sell for that. And this happens to be his first pack pulled top certified auto. If you want to grade it, that's great. The grades.
There are very few Kobe rookie autos, like very few.
Well, so this is not, it's not 96, it's 98, but it is a top certified issue, right? Which is, people look for those, first pack pull. This is one of those that could have some significance at some point down the road because of that. It's a cool looking card. I would tell you there's a tremendous disparity in the autographs. If you look at the ones on eBay, that one, AG9, is blue ink, very nice signature. The AG2 has ones with silver Sharpie. There are ones with black ink that seems to be fading on some of these. There's a very big discrepancy between the quality of autos when Kobe signed them. It's weird. It's like they gave him these cards and he ran out of ink, or he signed them at different times, or they told him to sign it with different pens. Who the heck knows? But I can look on eBay and see at least 3 different signature versions of that AG2.
Do you know why?
Why?
A lot of them are forged.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. You reach out to Howley Hustle, Mr. Eric Myers, with questions, guys. Howley, I apologize. Eric Myers on Facebook. You can reach out to him on Instagram. He knows this card well. We've talked about this card. I don't want any of our listeners to get burned. Before you buy, reach out to him, reach out to us. We're happy to help because there's a lot of forgeries on this card.
There are slabbed ones, guys, with authentic autos, a lot in BGS ones, and they're not that much money either. So, if you want to buy one and not worry about that, grab one that's in a slab. Like I said, there's not that many of these out there. And, there are Beckett ones, there are PSA ones. And, they're not that much more in the slab. Obviously, PSA 10, if you're trying to buy that one, I think the only one on eBay is like $35,000 because it's only 2 of them. I don't know if I go that far. But it does show you the potential that the card has. I just thought it was cool because it's a card you just don't see. You just don't hear it talked about that often. And when people are talking about, just Kobe Chrome cards selling for thousands of dollars,
right?
Well, this is his first Topps auto, pack pulled. So, there's only so many first Prism, first this, first Topps Chrome, first blah blah. Before somebody comes back and says, all right, this is his first pack pulled auto. That's got some relevance too. So just one of those fun ones. Didn't want to get too crazy, but it's there, and it's, obviously not in everyone's price range.
So if you guys go on Collectibles Twitter or their Instagram, you'll see Cage delivering a message that only Cage could deliver. If he won the lottery, he would buy the Mantle PSA 8, probably a PSA 9 if I know you. If you won the lottery. But it got me thinking, like the Mantle 1952 Topps is probably out of the price range of just about everybody that's listening. A PSA 1 I think is listed for like $50K or best offer, maybe even more than that now.
Yeah,
so it got me
couple
thinking.
Of authentics I saw sold in the 20s.
People don't love authentic.
I know. Yeah, that's like basically entry level.
Yes. Okay, fair. which is crazy. That's a crazy floor price. That's the Bored Ape Yacht Club of the hobby, huh? Or is that the Punks?
I don't know. People probably say it's the Punks. It's
Putnam.
little
What
old
do you
school.
think? Mickey Mantle, is that a punk or an ape? But it got me thinking, what's a different way to play Mantle? And we talk about type 1 photos, right? I highly recommend if you're in New York City, stop by Bleecker because they have type 1 photos. You'll see them. They're slabbed in PSA. They're super freaking cool. And they're limited because they're made off of a negative and you can only make so many. So what's cool about that is if you go on eBay, I'll share my screen. There's some pretty awesome type 1 photos of Mickey Mantle. And they're reasonable. And you could get one that kind of is more your vibe. So here's a 1962 one, a little bit in his later years. Here's one with Whitney Ford, Yogi Berra, and Mantle, 1500. What's so funny?
Who's he with there again?
Whitney Ford. Is it Whitey?
I don't know. I can't see it. Yogi
Berra, Mickey Mantle, and Whitey Ford.
Is it Whitey? Yeah, looks like Whitey Ford, chairman of the board. Who's taking a picture? Is that a child?
That's the kid from Sandlot.
The kid from Sandlot wasn't born.
Yeah, it's the
cool
metaverse.
picture, man.
Do you not understand? You clearly don't understand how the metaverse works. This is a Back to the Future.
I don't know. Trust me, I don't know how the metaverse works at all.
Yeah, me neither. I just talk and I hope my words make sense. Here's another one. I mean, here's 1957. I mean, there's just this one's cool. 1960. There's a ton of different ones, and if you're looking to make a play on Mantle, this may be a nice alternative play that you could make for a tenth of what the entry point of a PSA 1 or an authentic
Some of those are really cool pictures too.
I think so too. And here's the thing. The whole point of a Mantle, yeah, we want to invest, but it's also very eye-grabbing, right? Like, wow, you have a Mantle, right? You have a Jordan. I mean, I think type 1 photos are very eye-grabbing. Like, you put that in the slab. Who's our friend? Is it Slab Guard? No. Why can't I remember his business? The slab display, slab shelf. Dude, there's so many slab business that they're all kind of in here. Slab shelf. Like, I think it would look cool at slab shelf if you're a content creator, podcast, or whatever it is, you just want to display at home. I think the type 1 photos work really well there too.
Love it.
That's it. And we'll be back tomorrow with a longer episode. What else?
Enjoy the football tonight, guys.
Super Bowl of the season so far. It should be a good game. It should be a smash mouth game. It's really cold. And Cage kind of grazed over it, but thank you all of you guys because we are having, record listener numbers. And that feels good, man, because it's nice to grow. It's nice to add listeners, and it's nice to build our community. We're having fun, and you guys are kind of our oxygen. So when you share or you guys think we do a good job, or you comment on our Instagram posts, which you guys are doing amazing with, it means the world to us. So thank you.
Check out the belt. I posted a picture on my personal IG page. Tell me what you think. Even if you think it's stupid, tell me what you think. Because, we're going to be making more of these. Next year, I think we should have 10 fantasy leagues, man. I don't want to turn anybody away. It was a lot of fun doing fantasy with, a little crap talking, people beating me, making fun of my draft.
Who beat you?
Everybody beats me. I mean, I think after this week, I'm going to be 8-5. It's not that good.
That's not terrible. All you got to do is get in the playoffs. All right, Luca Nation.